What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. You're not gonna like what I have to say today. And this is how I talk to myself, so imagine the brutality of my inner dialogue. But you need to hear this. And unless you keep it real with yourself, at least sometimes, you haven't heard this enough. You're a fraud. You don't like that, do you? You are a fraud. I know you are. Because you got more in you. Because you don't show up like you can. Because you play it safe. Because you waste time. Because you don't go after it as hard as you can. Because you lie to yourself about what you think you are capable of. Because you lack belief. Because of that, then you lack consistency. Because of this huge gap you leave between what you are and what you could be, you are half the person that you are meant to be. To yourself, to your family, to everyone who depends on you now, or could possibly benefit from you if you just went ahead and stopped being a fraud. You know, actually face the hard truth of reality and not let it defeat you. At least stand up to the challenge it presents you instead of just accepting your lowly position. Can't tell, this gets me fired up. I was walking home the other day from the gym, and on my walk, which is just around the corner, I saw something I've probably seen 100 times before, but it struck me differently. Maybe because of how I'm feeling about myself and doing the same thing in the same regard. On my way home, there are all types of street vendors. There's rickshaw drivers. And for anyone who doesn't know what a rickshaw is, imagine a three-wheeler open taxi that is good for short distances around busy parts of the city. Anyway, what I saw was this rickshaw driver laying in the back of his rickshaw, resting and talking on the phone. And now maybe he had a really long day already and deserved the rest. Or maybe still on a Tuesday night, he expected this rest to recharge him so he can go ahead and work for the rest of the longer night. You can give him all the credit you want. But the way that I perceived it was quite different. What went through my head immediately was that here was this man who left his house that day, left his kids, his family, with the promise to bring them back earnings from an honest day's work. And here he was, while away from his family, while his wife probably thinks he's hard at work, here he was, lounging in the back of his office or his rickshaw. What a fraud. What a lie he is telling to everyone, himself included. Because if he was really hungry, if in a country of poverty where he is left no option but to go out daily as a rickshaw driver to feed his family, if he truly believed that the accumulation of enough of his honest labor would bring him and his family to more of a comfortable living, and maybe out of poverty and reliance on this only being his means of earning, then that hunger would never let him sleep in the back of his office. But he's not hungry, even though he has a lot less to eat than you and I. And no one else can stoke a hunger in anyone. So again, I tell you, like I say to myself, you're a fraud. I hope this metaphorical visual will stay with you for a long time like it will with me. I hope you use it to measure yourself and your day's output. How many of your working hours are truly maximized? Or how much of them are just deception? A lie you tell yourself and to the world. Oh, look at me, I'm at work, earning a living. While 5 out of your 8 hours are spent doing nothing. And I'm not even saying 8 hours is the right amount of time you need to work. I'm just saying, are the 2 or 3 or 4 that you're working super high quality? Or are you lounging in the back of your office? Are those 2 or 3 enough that you would be proud of them if they were your last 2 or 3? And like they say, dress every day like it's your last day, like you're going to be buried in those clothes. I don't think it's too far of a stretch to put the same value on the last intentional hour. Imagine the last bit of work you did was the quality by which you will forever be judged. The last hour that you just put in. See, our life is limited, even if not by physical nature, but much sooner by the processing power of our mind. Our bodies may outlast the productive use of the facilities of our intellect. As sad as that is, and it's sad to see. And unfortunately, every second while you're listening to me, and hopefully not as a consequence of listening to me, I hope, but just as it symbolizes the passage of time, every second that passes is a step towards diminished ability. It's increased gray matter. It's aging of our brains every second that passes. So literally, the work you do today, the work that just you did an hour ago, is quite literally the best work you can ever do. Because you have more of you today than you have of you tomorrow. And don't take me very literal in this. We can have an argument about crystallized intelligence versus fluid intelligence, but that's not the point of making the value of each day enough so you meet it at your maximum. Your maximum. Enough so you can at least push back at me when I call you a fraud. Because right now you can't. You're a fraud. I'm a fraud. Because I got a lot more to give. And unless you show up at 100% every day, be real with yourself. Stop sleeping in the back of your office. Wake up. Stop lying to your family. Put in an honest day's work. Give it all you got. And then go lay your head in your own bed at night with the comfort you've earned with a well-lived day. I love you, family. See you in the next show.